recording now. So this is a non-spoiler video to talk about Tenet. I've seen the film, you haven't.
No!
It's going to be one of those things where, remember the episode of Friends where it got really confusing? They were playing games. Well, they don't know. We know. They know. We know. And it's like, hey, Joey, don't say anything. And he's like, couldn't if I wanted to, because it's that confusing. I think I could spoil this movie if I wanted to. I think if I was to tell you what I thought of it, I'd probably be like wrong and I've like misunderstood a lot of stuff. But obviously, you've seen from the trailer. This is me talking to you. If you've seen from the trailer, like obviously, it's like a thing about time running backwards, but it's not time travel as such. It's very much what the concept is in the actual film, so you kind of understanding it right from the trailer. There's obviously there's a lot of action in this film as well, and a lot of the sort of time running backwards works its way into the way that the film kind of plays out as well. There's some really sort of like jarring stuff as well, like some of the effects. Have you ever heard like all tofu jokes about bell, bell ends or whatever? Or tofu jokes. We can make the tofu jokes. Whatever.
I was going to say that's half fun, like how to put them out.
Yeah, it's kind of a given. But have you ever heard the sound of a bell like ringing backwards? It's like a really weird noise. It's like that. It's like really like freaky noise. And they kind of do that a little bit in this. There's like a car chase and they're sort of going backwards and there's cars like blowing the horns. All tough jokes about blowing aside.
Turf was blowing his horn into the face of the bus.
That was he, mate. Blowing his horn in the face of the bus. Well, yes, there's like
cars. What do you want?
There's like car horns like blowing and stuff, and it's sort of like backwards. It's loud as well. So it's a bit jarring because part of the film he goes into, again, not spoiler, so I'm specifically being vague describing this, but he goes into a kind of like an area where everything is running backwards, and he's kind of pre-warned, like it's going to mess with your senses, it's going to be kind of like very disorientating, and I think that they try to use that in the way that the sound effects are played and certain other aspects of it as well, like visually, that it's kind of jarring to you, especially if you go see this at the cinema in IMAX. So sorry, John, digital doesn't reign supreme. This was not a film to like. Well, you can watch any film on a TV, but this was a film made primarily for cinema, ideally IMAX.
Well, I'm confused. I thought there were no more cinemas. It's all digital now.
Exactly. I'll end the video in a few minutes, and I'll talk about my cinema experience as well, because obviously that's a factor here, but it's not really pertinent to the film as such. The acting's pretty good. I'd kind of say it lacks a bit of the heart that films like Inception had, but I don't mean it's not got heart. I just mean maybe it wasn't as strong. It was still a good film. It's not the best Christopher Nolan film, but all of his films are like very good. So it's definitely a classic. I wouldn't go as far as say it's like groundbreaking or anything like that, because I mean even like Red Dwarf episode backwards, there was a certain aspect of that because there were like some fights where it's going backwards. It's like I've seen this done before. For comedy.
Unrumble.
It's not a barroom ball. It's a barroom tidy. Unrumble. Yeah, to be said.
But ironically, when you were saying all about the backwards stuff, that was the first thing that was coming into my mind as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not the first person to like make that. I think Oliver Harper made that exact same reference as well about Unrumble on his like channel when he was talking about the film. But characters are pretty good anyway. There's a pretty good like bad guy in it, played by I can't remember. Kenneth Branagh. I don't know if you'd know him if you saw him. I don't think he's not a kind of actor that big up on, but he's a good film director as well. He directed Thor, but he's a good British actor, and he was in Dunkirk as well. Do you remember he was like one of the guys that stays at the end for the next boat to come in? He was like some like big leader, I can't remember what, but some pretty good acting in it anyway, and I think the score was Hans Zimmer. I could be mistaken, but I will be aggressive. No, pretty sure it was Hans Zimmer, because Christopher Nolan always uses him. There's a lot of that same sort of Christopher Nolan / Hans Zimmer kind of music that you get from these films. Very similar to Inception specifically as well. it kind of sounded like some bits of the score sounded like it was like being played backwards as well. You know, like I say, with certain sound effects when you play backwards, it's a bit sort of weird and jarring. The score was a bit like that as well, to the point where I think it might kind of like irritate people's senses a little bit. You know, like you hate like rap music, and if you're in like HMV and there's rap music, you'll like run out of there like you're a shoplifter or something because you're like sensory kind of thing.
It's what I'm just channeling the spirit of the Topher.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit, Star Detective, leg it.
Yeah. But it was rap music, that's why I was running out. Forget the bag full of wagon wheels. But yeah, no. Yes, the score was a little bit that way. Again, I don't really want to say much else because otherwise you'd be kind of getting into spoiler territory. And I'm definitely going to have to give this film a few more watches until I realise that I fully understand it. I know I understood enough of it to enjoy it, because sometimes I remember like Inception, first time I saw that, I was kind of distracted because I was with some girls and they were like jabbering all the way through it. But it took a few views to really understand that, and with that, enjoying the thing as well and appreciating it. This one, I felt I understood it more first time round. So yeah, but good film anyway. Nothing bad to say about it in the slightest. The only it's not even a negative, but the only negative I suppose just be I don't think it had the same kind of heart that Inception had, but not trying to sound pretentious or anything. That's just the best way I would describe it. It's the reason I say Inception. It's the most like that. Maybe Memento as well, in some ways, but only really for the concept of time, sort of going backwards. It was most like Inception, and it's not, as far as I could tell, there was nothing to suggest that this was set in the same continuity as Inception, because there was some theory that it was a prequel on there, but I didn't get that from this. So that's my thoughts anyway.
Not really been following it, so I can't really add anything on that one.
Yeah. Just to wrap up, as for the actual cinema experience itself, masks, I believe, are actually mandatory all the way through like the film as well. But if you're eating or something, it's pretty much like understood. Well, if you've got a reason to have your mask off, if you've got a drink or something you're eating, you don't have to have it on. And I forgot to put the thing back on, and nobody came around and checked. So masks are sort of mandatory, but how enforced it is, I mean, we know what cinemas are like for bad behaviour and stuff. They generally don't enforce stuff unless people are complaining.
I mean, they can't be asked getting off the backsides and like stopping people yammering through the film, so they're really going to be going around to check on masks. I fucking doubt it.
Yeah. Well, when you go in, because just to be clear, this was the View Cinema on Kirkstall Road in Leeds, which has the IMAX screen. You go in, you kind of follow like a sort of, you sort of penned in, you kind of go around this like maze thing to get to the ticket thing, and then it was all really good. There's nothing bad about any of this. Everything's pretty much normal beyond that. You go through, you sit down. Masks kind of mandatory, but not really enforced too heavily. And then at the end of the film, this is worth making note of. They open the fire exit, because you get those in cinemas, don't you? Have like the fire exit, it leads straight out. That's where you exit. So if you need a piss, don't think you're going to wait till the film's over because you're out of the building. You can't go back, unless maybe if you asked, they might let you. But if I'd have maybe gone during the film, because I was kind of busting for a piss for like the last half hour, I thought, I'll wait till the film's over. But then I was like, no, I kicked out. It's like, I need a piss. I've got nowhere to go.
Were the toilets even open? Because I know in a lot of places, public toilets are just like generally closed because they're considered.
No, they're all. I mean, even everywhere through Leeds, they're all open. They've even got some sort of portaloos out in the city centre as well. But for men only, which is proof of the patriarchy and male privilege. So there you go. There were no women's. So yeah, pretty much. I'll wrap it up now because I'm rambling on. Are you happy with that? Any questions or anything?
No, I think it covers everything I was interested in.
Yeah, very good film. Definitely go see it. The cinema was pretty busy as well, so that's a good sign that people are going to just go, and cinemas can hopefully make enough money, kind of thing. So yeah, Next video we're going to do straight after this, we're going to talk about Chadwick Boseman and particularly Black Panther as well. And I know obviously it's like, oh, a person has died and all you're thinking about is his movies. Definitely pertinent. I'm going to get into the reason why it's totally cool for us to just talk about the implications on the movies in the next video.
Well, it's also it's not like I know the guy, or it's not like I'm talking to anybody who does know him personally.
Yeah, that's what we know him
What
from.
exactly are you expecting me to have? You know.
Yeah. Well,
maybe he was a great guy. Maybe he was an absolute ass. I don't know. I've never met him.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, that's not the case. But we'll get into that. I've got a video clip, and I'll edit it into the next video. So we'll leave it here for now, and then the next video that'll be up will be about that. So, thanks everybody for watching, all 20 of you, and see you next time. Shit. Stop recording. There we go.
Hi guys, currently in production. We are proud to announce that this year we are going to be doing the 8th annual Halloween BXR special. It's been pretty much a tradition on the channel ever since we began back in 2013, that every October leading up to Halloween night itself we do a video or a series of videos, usually it is the latter, talking about our favourite scary movies and other moments in pop culture history. You can go back on the channel and check out our previous ones. I'm going to set up a playlist in the playlists section for our Halloween series. This year obviously we're going to be continuing that tradition. I'm going to get myself, my co-review of the core, involved in this. It's currently in production, as I say, and there may even be some Topher jokes thrown in too.